could just like start with your name.
My present name?
Sure.
Zona Wyscaver.
All right.
What was your maiden name, Grandma?
Fleming.
Where were you born?
Scottsbluff, Nebraska.
Nebraska.
Mm-hmm.
How long did you live there?
Not very long at that.
Mm-hmm.
But I moved back moved away,
Mm-hmm.
and then came back into that area. Not right. Well, I worked in Scottsbluff for a long while.
What did you do?
Housemaid.
Were you a live-in maid, or did you leave at night, go home?
I stayed just moved into the home, had my room, either in the basement or a bedroom. And I did that for a while.
How old were you when you started working there?
13, 14.
And were you still in school then?
Yes.
You were.
What grade did you finish in school?
8.
8th grade.
That's it. Of course, we lived in the country.
Where did you go to school?
Box Elder, up near Chugwater, Wyoming.
It was called the Box Elder School. Is that what you called it?
Was it like a schoolhouse, or did you have grades and stuff?
It was a schoolhouse,
Okay.
country school.
Mm-hmm.
Had the schoolhouse, outbuildings.
How many grades were in it?
8.
So there was one teacher. It was like a one-room school then?
Yeah.
And were you a housemaid during the Great Depression? Was that when that was happening?
Yes, after I got out of school, then I joined in and I went to work as a housemaid.
Mm-hmm.
Worked in several different places.
What did you do after that?
Oh, I don't know. Helped around the farm.
Mm-hmm.
Help Mom. Take care of the chickens and do the canning and milk the cows.
Mm-hmm.
So, Grandma, you lived in Wyoming for a while and then moved to Nebraska. Is that how that worked?
I was born in Nebraska,
Uh-huh.
Scottsbluff, and when I was a small child, we moved to Wyoming, and we were there. We moved to several different places in Wyoming, and circled around and went back to Scottsbluff country. We still lived helped in the houses.
Mm-hmm.
Finally married, and was in Wyoming, and
Were you living in Wyoming when you got married?
no, we come back to Nebraska again.
How did you meet John Embry?
He was a neighbor, and my parents knew the family,
Okay.
and so he asked me out, and one thing led to another, and
How old were you when you married him?
all around 16, 17,
17.
maybe even 18, I don't know. I was home for quite a while.
Yeah.
Jill, did you have some questions?
Let's see. Let's see. Who would you say was the most important figure for you of like the 20th century or of your lifetime? Someone.
I never even thought.
Yeah, that's fine.
Well, I don't know. I suppose my parents. But we were so isolated.
Mm-hmm.
There was not, we didn't circulate much. And so I didn't know very many people, really.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And I was about 18, I suppose, when I married. But before that, they're just, isolated farmers.
Yeah.
How did you get your news? Did you have a radio or like a
No.
newspaper?
The papers.
Okay.
After I married, we had a radio.
So, Grandma, when do you remember when you had electricity? When you got electricity in your house?
Well, before I married, most of the people had farmers, even.
Yeah.
And of course, those in town all had electricity.
What did you do before that? Did you use like gas lamps and
Kerosene,
kerosene lamps and?
lanterns,
Mm-hmm.
and worked by the sunshine.
Yeah. Went to bed when it got dark. But...
That's right.
Who do you think was the best president?
I don't know that I even thought of it.
That's okay.
I don't know, I suppose. Lincoln, maybe would have been one of my choices, I suppose.
What about during your lifetime?
Well, as a young person, I wasn't much interested in politics and never had much chance to learn about politics. But then after I got bigger and took a little interest in it, but those were pretty isolated years.
I know you were young married during the Depression. What was that like to try to get along?
Well, we had a large, real good farm. It produced well, and it was before I married. We were very, very poor, and we were dry land farmers. And then after I married, he had a irrigated farm, so then that made a difference. Built a chicken house and raised chickens. Sold eggs.
How many brothers and sisters do you have?
one sister, 2 brothers.
Grandma, what do you remember about World War II?
Well, it was hard times. Because that was after I was married, and we had a 120-acre irrigated farm, so that there was a lot of work there.
Mm-hmm.
Had milk cows and laying hens and a lot of chores to do. But we fared through it. And,
Was it hard to find help when you were during the World War? Were there a lot of, did you
No.
have a problem with labor?
There wasn't very, they were all in the war. So we pretty much alone.
Do you remember, did you have a radio then? Is that how you heard about the war? Or was it newspapers mostly?
It was in the newspapers. Mm-hmm.
Do you remember hearing about the concentration camps and all that?
Mm-hmm.
What was, do you remember what you were thinking and feeling at that time and what that was like?
Of course, we didn't take a paper, and about all we'd hear would be passing conversations.
People talking about it, yeah.
So it was pretty hard to come to grips with.
Yeah.
And really hard to understand just what really was going on.
Mm-hmm.
It was long years ago.
That was a long time ago. And you had 2 kids.
Yes, I did.
Your brother was in World War II, wasn't he?
Yes, he was. Yeah, he was overseas for a while.
Did you know a lot of people who had to fight in the war?
No, because we were out
Right.
on the farm.
Just your brother, really?
I mean, rumors we'd hear.
Auntie, do you remember that Daddy got his notice to go to the Army the day he and Mom got married? He always said that he got a wedding present from Uncle Sam.
I'd forgotten that.
That was in October 9th of 1942.
That's when he went overseas.
Well, I hadn't been married very long then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you remember having prisoners of war as laborers on the farm?
I remember the prisoners of war. I don't think we had much connection with it.
I
but
remember them when I was little. I remember
You
the
do.
prisoners of war working there, some German prisoners of war working as laborers on the farm.
Yeah. But we ourselves didn't have it. But they were in the vicinity.
I see.
Yeah.
I remember talking to him as a little girl.
You do? Where was that?
When we were on the north side of the river, when we lived at that farm on the north side of the river, I remember him out by the back door. And there was a guard out there with a big gun watching these guys. And he was scared me.
Can imagine that would be pretty scary here. So, Grandma, do you remember what your first car was?
A V8, I think. I
Do you-
don't remember the year.
Do you remember what kind? If it was a
A
Ford
Ford.
or a Ford?
Mm-hmm.
Did you ever drive a Model T?
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Do you remember what kind of car you learned how to drive when you were learning?
Well, I had driven the Model T, but really, I guess when I got down to business, it was a shift. Chevy, I think it was.
Yeah.
This has been a long time ago.
Well, yeah.
Do you remember when your folks got their first, your dad got his first car? Do you remember that at all?
No, I don't, because they drove the team and wagon for a long while. I don't really think they ever had a car.
So when you moved either to Wyoming or from back away from Wyoming, did you do it with a wagon and a team?
To Wyoming,
Yeah.
yes,
Yeah.
probably. And it's been so long since I've even thought of these.
Well, it's interesting, so we want to know.
Your dad liked to walk, didn't he?
Yes, he liked to walk.
Daddy always said, Grandpa would say, if you're gonna walk, why ride?
Yeah. Yeah. He liked his horses, his team of horses, and he walked beside the wagon or whatever he was hauling. He liked to walk.
You had told me that your mother came west in a covered wagon. Is that right?
Yeah.
Do you know anything about that? Any stories that she
No.
told you about that?
I don't remember them. That's a long time ago.
What brought you to Colorado?
We went from Scotts Bluff down to northeastern Wyoming. Lived there. And times were hard and just kept moving on, trying to find something better. It was, those were hard years.
And didn't my grandpa have a blacksmith shop? Or seems like I remember something about that in Greeley.
Your grandfather?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
But that was later than we've been talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mhm. Yeah, he liked to shoe the horses and sharpen the plow lays and shovels on the machines. Yeah, he liked his blacksmith shop.
What was his name?
John Embry.
John Embry. Gotcha.
Yeah.
How long were you married to him?
Ooh. I don't
40 years, probably. She got married
something
somewhere
like
around, say 20, died at 60. That's just a wild guess. 20, 25. 35, 40 years.
For a while.
Grandma, are you tired of answering questions?
I expect you're tired of listening.
No.
No.
What do you remember about the Vietnam War? Or how you felt about that at the time? Do you remember?
Well, I was pretty upset about it, all right, but it was just another happening that couldn't do anything about. And make the best of it. Sometimes that was kind of hard to try to find something good about it. I suppose precious young people going out there and getting killed. Just pretty hard pill to swallow, but that's part of life.
Did you have some other specific questions?
Let's see. Let's see. If I were to go back to the time when you were growing up, what would you say would be the biggest shock for me, like the biggest difference?
Probably transportation.
Mm-hmm.
All these mechanical things that have been created and made popular nowadays.
We wouldn't have the internet, right?
Oh, right.
No,
Of course.
we didn't have internet, long distance, and all that sort of stuff.
Do you remember getting your first telephone?
I remember having it, yes. I think it was a pretty exciting day when it moved in. But we were on the farm way out north of Cheyenne. And I think when we got our first one. Well, I expect we like games like hide and seek and ball toss games. But mostly we just played. Well, we didn't play a lot, really.
Mm-hmm.
But we had our chores to do, and we had things to do in the house.
Did you have many kids to come and play with you after school?
No, because we were up to 3 miles from school. Not always, but a lot of the time we were 3 miles from school. So by the time you get home and do your chores and eat some supper, it's time to go to bed. Real.
What was your school transportation? How'd you get to school?
When we were going 3 miles, we either rode horses or had a buggy. The boys would take care of the horses and tie them up out at the buggy or in the shed there.
Did you ever have a bike?
Fist fight?
A bike.
A bicycle.
A bike.
Oh, bicycle, no.
No, I didn't have a bike.
Did you ever have a fist fight?
No.
That's the story I want to hear.
I don't think I'm gonna tell you. No, girls didn't fight those days.
No. What do you think about how the world is now?
I don't like to think about it.
Oh, okay.
It's scary.
How come?
I wouldn't know how to put it in words. I'm afraid of it.
Grandma, can you tell us that, I know that your faith has been a big part, played a big part in your life. How, I don't know how to ask the question. What would you say has, the role your faith has played in your life, how has that changed or impacted your life?
I don't know. I think it has made me think about it more. But how it's affected my life, I don't know.
Well, can I just say, as your granddaughter, that you have a joy in your spirit, and you're just such a good role model for all of us, I think. We really admire you.
Well, thank you much, but I don't think I deserve it.
You do. You do.
I sure appreciate it.
The gospel came to your mom and dad when you were about 3, didn't it?
Something like that.
I think
No.
Daddy said he was about 4, so maybe you would have been 2 or 3.
Nova was just a baby.
Yeah.
What did you think of Hawaii?
It was just all right. Yeah, Hawaii's a pretty place. A nice place. Nice place to live, I believe.
Is that the furthest you've been, Grandma, from
Mm-hmm.
this general area?
I don't think I've been east.
Just to Georgia by airplane.
Yeah. But off the...
Oklahoma City.
Auntie, do I have it right? Was your mother born in Ireland? Or your grandmother? Is it Cook County?
Are you sure it was... That sounds more like Daddy than her.
Oh,
I remember him talking about Cook County.
How many brothers and sisters did your mother have?
12. No.
So you had a big family then?
My mother did.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. No.
You had lots of aunts and uncles.
Yeah, lots of aunts.
And cousins by the dozen.
Yeah.
Were they where you could see them? Where they lived nearby?
Not many. Not after I got big enough to remember. We had moved away from Scotts Bluff. Out in the boonies of Wyoming, northern Colorado.
We used to go visit Uncle Odie and Aunt Josie over by Trent. Were you ever at their house?
Yeah, I've been past there. I don't remember being at their house, really. Their house. The son's house, I can remember afterwards.
Yeah.
But,
Joe and Thelma.
yeah.
What do you, oh sorry.
No, that's okay.
What do you think is the key to happiness?
Being flexible.
Okay.
I don't know how to describe it, but I think that probably the basic of it.
Go on with the flow.
Just be thoughtful and considerate, and try to do unto others as you'll be done by. I guess that's a pretty good answer.
Yeah, that's a good.
Joel, did you have anything else on your list?
There's something kind of like that. It's oh, would you say that's like one of the most important lessons you've learned over the course of your life, or are there any others?
I think probably that would be one of the most important, is to be considerate and thoughtful and caring, and not being selfish, I think, would be a great big one. But I guess that's about it.
Well, thank you for putting up with all of our questions, Grandma, and
Well,
answers.
I don't feel like I have much to give, but it's stayed with me, so I guess maybe it's worth hanging on to.
Yeah. Lots of years of wisdom and lots of years of wisdom and knowledge there. So
Yeah, but so much of this stuff you have to learn on your own.
that's true. That's true. We don't take advice very well as humans, do we?
No, we don't. It has to come right back, right to your doorstep before you.
Yeah, that's true.
Be nice to be able to be a pattern and an example and a help, but it's if it's not going to be listened to or taken heed to, it's not much use.
It's true. I keep trying to tell my kids what to do, but they keep having to learn things on their own.
Yeah, I think that's part of life. Where? Oh, my, they're quiet over there.
Well, thank you.